6th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 40. We made it. So if this is the first you are hearing about this challenge, let me begin by telling you that there is a playlist for this challenge that contains all of the workouts in chronological order. I'm going to link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of the video as well. So click on that link and save the playlist, so that when and if you decide that you want to participate in the challenge, you have all of the workouts readily available to you. And then just start by watching that day 1 video. The video that I shared for day 1 of the challenge explains everything you need to know about what this challenge is exactly, how it works, why we're doing it, how you can participate, and where to begin. I also spend a lot of time explaining and demonstrating how to do your squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form, and I provided tons of beginner modifications that I promise you can do, because this year I have been going out of my way to ensure that the challenge is accessible to day 1 beginners. So if you are a beginner, you are absolutely in the right place. What I want you to do now is leave this video, okay? Click on the link for the playlist. Start by watching that day 1 video. That's where you're going to begin. Because even if you don't decide to do the whole challenge, or even if you decide you just want to do 20 days of the challenge instead of 40, what we're doing today is the exact same workout that we did on day 1 of the challenge. So on day 1, that's where I provided a tutorial and explained and demonstrated all of the exercises and provided your beginner modifications. I already did that on day 1, so I'm not going to do it today. So if you're someone who knows how to do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form, then that's fine. You can just do this short, simple little workout with me today. Absolutely, okay? But if you are interested in doing the challenge, or if you want to do this workout, but you need to see the exercises demonstrated and explained, and you need beginner modifications, watch the day 1 video, okay? It's the same workout, but with a tutorial and beginner modifications in the beginning of the video, okay? So if you're not a beginner, then here's what I want to tell you about the challenge, first of all. So this is my 6th year in a row doing the challenge, and this year I'm gearing the challenge towards beginners. So if you're not a beginner, then the workouts that we've been doing this year for the challenge are probably not going to be very difficult for you. If you want workouts that are really going to challenge you, if you need something more intense and just more advanced, then I'm going to recommend that you save the playlist from last year. Last year was my 5th year in a row doing the challenge. It was the exact same challenge. We were doing at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. But the workouts that we were doing last year for the challenge were much more difficult. They were generally a lot longer because we were frequently doing more than just those 160 reps. We were also adding weight to most of the workouts. We were doing more difficult variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. And most of the time, I was also incorporating about 20 minutes or so of moderate-paced cardio right into the workout. So the workouts were a lot more advanced, a lot more intense. If you are not a beginner and you really want workouts that are going to challenge you, then last year's playlist is probably like more suitable for you. So I will link last year's playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of this video as well. So if you are more advanced and you're in really good shape and you're super strong, definitely save last year's playlist. But I'm going to recommend that you save this year's playlist as well, because the workouts that we're doing this year, they're very short and they're kind of simple, but they're still great workouts. And if you're in great shape, you are most likely going to be able to complete almost all of the workouts that we've been doing this year for the challenge in under 10 minutes. So I think that is a great option to have. So if there are days when you're just so pressed for time and you have no time whatsoever to get a workout done, you could choose one of these short, simple bodyweight workouts that we're doing this year and be finished with your reps in under 10 minutes. Also, because I have been focusing on beginners this year, I've been assuming that beginners do not have access to fitness equipment. So I've been avoiding using any fitness equipment. So that might be a good option if you're traveling and you're staying at a hotel or an Airbnb where you don't have access to fitness equipment. You can choose one of these short little bodyweight workouts to start your day. Why not? They also make a great workout, or these workouts make a great warm-up for something more intense. So maybe if you're planning to take a long run today or go on a long tough hike or go for a bike ride or something, you could use one of these short little bodyweight workouts as a warm-up for that. Or even if you just feel like taking your workout to the beach today or the park or the hiking trail or whatever, and you don't feel like, lugging a bunch of equipment with you, you don't feel like lugging dumbbells or a kettlebell or a big heavy sandbag with you, then there you go. You've got all of these short, simple bodyweight workouts that you can choose from. So definitely if you are more advanced, save both playlists, and then you've got double the workouts to choose from, and you can just kind of bounce back and forth between the playlists. You can also bounce around within one playlist or the other. So the workouts are labeled days 1 through 40 if you follow along with the playlist. That's how I do the challenge. I start on day 1 with a Wednesday and I end with day 40 on a Saturday, and I do a different workout every day. But you can do the challenge any way you want, okay? If you make the commitment to do the challenge and you're the one doing it, it's your challenge, so you do it in any way that works for you. You don't have to go in order through the playlist. As long as you're getting your reps done every day, it doesn't matter how you do them. So any workout that happens to contain at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups is fine. It doesn't have to be off of this year's playlist. It doesn't have to be off of last year's playlist. It doesn't even have to be one of my workouts. You can choose any workout that meets those criteria. You could write your own workout. And if you don't feel like doing a structured workout or you don't have time, then you can spread out your reps randomly throughout the course of the day. You can get up in the morning and do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want, and 10 push-ups. And then you can just repeat that 3 more times throughout the course of your day. You could do it again after lunch. You could do it again after you get home from work. Once more before bed, there's your 160 reps. All right, so as long as you're getting your reps done, it doesn't matter how you get them done. It doesn't matter which variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups you do. As long as you're getting your reps done, you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. That being said, I do want to let you know, whether you're a beginner or advanced, whether you're following along with this year's playlist or last year's playlist, or bouncing back and forth between the 2 playlists, if you want to start the challenge on day 1, the only caveat, the only thing you need to know is that you have to start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday is fine. As long as you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, then all you have to do is just follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place. I have made it super easy to follow along, but of course, as always, if anything is unclear, if you need help, I am right here. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions about the challenge and how it works and why we're doing it, how you can participate, how you can make it work for you, where to begin, okay? If you have questions, I am here and I will remain here after day 40, okay? I am not just working out with you every day. I am also here to answer questions. I am here to provide guidance. I am here to encourage you and support you every step of the way. I'm here to help motivate you if that's something you need, okay? I've been here for you guys doing those things since day 1, and I will still be here after day 40. All right, so if you are seeing this video and you're just hearing about the challenge for the first time now, and the challenge has been over already for days or weeks or months, just know that I am still here and I will remain here to answer your questions and to help in any way I can. All right, so save the playlist, or if you're more advanced, save both playlists, okay? Start by watching the day 1 video, and then once you understand what the challenge is and how it works, and you have decided that you want to participate, Remember that I am here to help. I am here to answer questions. So ask questions if you have them. And then when you're ready to start with your day one workout, just start day one on a Wednesday. And then all you have to do is follow along with the playlist, and I am here. So ask questions if you have them, all right? So that's how the challenge works in a nutshell. Now let's just go really briefly through what we're doing for today's workout. Because again, this is the same workout that we did on day one of the challenge. This is how the challenge works. Every year of the challenge since 2020, the workout we do on day one is identical to the day 40 workout. And the reason for that is that when we do that day one workout, that's just kind of our baseline. That's where we're starting from. So the point is that when you do your day one workout, you should time yourself and see how long it takes you to complete all 160 reps. And then after 40 days of consistent effort, the goal today, we're doing that exact same workout. The goal today is to beat your score from day one and see how much you have managed to improve over the course of this 40-day challenge. All right, so hopefully you all made a note of your day one score. So before we get started, I want you to find that note, whether it's in your phone or you wrote it on a piece of paper somewhere, okay? I want you to refresh your memory, and I want you to have your day one score in mind, because that's what you're trying to beat today, okay? So on day one, these 160 reps took me 11 minutes and 27 seconds. And I am aiming to beat that today by a lot. So we'll see what happens. But just to refresh your memory, this is our day one workout. We're starting with 40 air squats. Okay, so just remember to, even though you're trying to go fast today, you're trying to beat your score from day one, please remember to mind your form. So with squats, remember you want your shoulders back and down, keep your chest lifted high, abs are tight, make sure your back stays flat and the weight stays in your heels. Okay, so you're gonna push that booty back like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. Remembering to keep your chest lifted high like you're trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. And then you're gonna sink down into that squat, press your heels into the ground to stand, okay? Just basic air squats, 40 reps. Then we're going to move on to lunges. We're doing reverse lunges, alternating legs with each lunge, 40 total reps. So it's going to end up being 20 reps on each leg. You can do all 20 on one leg and then switch to the other leg if you want, but I always alternate legs, okay? So for your lunges, you want to start with your feet about hip width apart. Whatever's comfortable for you, you should just feel kind of neutral. So you don't want your feet out wider than your shoulders. You're also not starting with your feet together. Just something that feels kind of neutral. So for me, that's about hip width apart for my feet. And then again, your shoulders are back and down. Keep that chest lifted high. Make sure your back stays flat. Make sure that you're not rounding your back. Tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets. All right, you're just going to step back with one foot, then bend both knees and sink down into your lunge. You can tap this back knee to the ground if you want. Again, just make sure that the movement is under control so you don't bang your knee into the ground. If you can't tap the ground, that's fine, you don't have to. And then just remember that you want about a 90-degree angle in this front knee so that your knee of your front leg is more over the heel of your front foot as opposed to being out over your toes like this, okay? And then you're going to step forward and then switch legs, alternating legs with each rep. So now step back with the opposite foot, bend both knees, sink down into your lunge, press this heel into the ground and step forward, okay? So 40 reps, alternating legs with each rep. Then we're going to do sit-ups. So any sit-up variation you want to do is fine. This is the way I do my sit-ups. So coming down onto the mat, I like to keep my knees bent and I like to extend my arms up overhead, and then as I sit up, I like to reach, okay? Straightening my back and reaching my arms all the way up towards the ceiling, and then reverse the movement, okay? Again, just make sure the movement's under control. So sit up and reach with a flat back, and then reverse the movement with the arms extended overhead, okay? So you do your sit-ups any way you want. Just make sure you do them the same way you did them on day one, okay? And then just standard push-ups from your toes or from your knees, or if you need to do standing push-ups, remember you can do your push-ups with your hand hands elevated on the arm of your couch or your kitchen counter, or you can do wall push-ups, okay? We went over all of those modifications on day one. So again, if you haven't watched the day one video yet and you haven't done the day one workout yet, please go back to day one and watch the day one video, okay? This is just a recap for those of you who already did your day one workout. So just remember to watch your form on your push-ups. So your bullet points for push-ups, you want your head in line with your spine, and you want to make sure your head stays still. You want your shoulders away from your ears so that you're not sinking down into your shoulders like this. So press the ground away, push yourself up nice and high, and then just make sure that your back stays flat. So if you find that your hips or your belly are kind of drooping down towards the mat like this, you want to correct that by tightening up your abs, using your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. And then once you found this beautiful high plank position where your body is in one perfectly straight line from your heels to your shoulders, nothing moves. If you are doing knee push-ups, then literally the only difference is that your knees are down on the mat. So if instead of your straight line being from your heels to your shoulders, your straight line is from your knees to your shoulders, but then from here, nothing moves. So your head is in line with your spine. You're not allowing your head to drop down towards the mat like this. You're not overcorrecting by hyperextending your neck. Head is in line with the spine. You're not sinking down into your shoulders. You're spreading out those fingers, pushing the ground away from you, and your abs are super strong and tight and engaged. You're keeping those hips lifted high so that your back is flat. You are not allowing your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this, causing your back to arch. All right, so once you're here, make sure that you maintain that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, or if you're doing push-ups from your toes, from your heels to your shoulders, okay? So you're going to bend your elbows, you're going to lower your chest as close to the mat as you can. If you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, remember not to compensate for the fact that you can't get your chest down all the way to the mat by lowering your hips or your belly, all right? Remember not to compensate for the fact that you're not getting your chest down to the mat by lowering your forehead down to the mat. Remember, head in line with the spine, and then the head stays still. Make sure you're not bobbing your head up and down. All right, mind your form, that's first and foremost. And that's it, that's the format, okay? Super simple, 40 air squats, 40 reverse lunges, alternating legs with each rep, 40 sit-ups and 40 push-ups. That was our day one workout, and that is our day 40 workout. Remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. And of course, I'm going to do the workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions. But of course, as always, if anything is unclear, I am right here to help. So please just ask. If you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need help with beginner modifications, I am right here to help. So please just ask, and remember that you have that day one video available to you where I went over tons of beginner modifications already, okay? But it's just really important that you understand how to do the exercises with the correct form before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury and so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it's also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them, and I am always here to help facilitate that. And that has been especially true for this challenge this year. So do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. And then just one final reminder that, again, I know we're trying to go fast today. We're trying to complete the reps as quickly as we can, but with good form. Remember that it's your goal to beat your day one score. It's your goal to complete the reps as quickly as you can, but your objective is far more important. Your objective is to mind your form. Make sure that those are good quality reps, okay? So if you find that you are racing through the exercises because you're just trying really, really hard to go fast and your form is starting to get sloppy, you need to slow down. Okay, if you're faster than I am without sacrificing your form, that's great. Be faster than I am, all right? If you're slower than I am and you find that you're racing to try to keep up with me, don't worry about keeping up with me. Go at your own pace. If you fall behind, either because you're working at a slower pace than I am, or because you find that you're needing to pause and take rest breaks, that's fine. You can pause the video, and then when you're ready, come back. I am not going anywhere. I will be here waiting for you. We can finish the workout together, okay? So don't worry if you're slower than I am. The important thing is that you got your little booty dressed and you got out here and you're doing the reps, okay? And the equally important thing is that you're doing them with the proper form, all right? You have to understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, but it's equally as important that you apply that knowledge and actually do the exercises properly during the workout, okay? I don't want anyone getting hurt. And also, if you're taking the time and the effort to get out here and do this, I want you to be able to see the results of all your hard work, okay? The exercises are going to be the most effective when done correctly. So make sure that you are minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed, okay? Make sure you are being smart and being safe. Make sure you're listening to your body. Please don't push your body into doing anything it is not ready to do. Go at your own pace. Mind your form. Don't sacrifice your form for speed. All right, so hopefully I have covered everything. If you are ready to go ahead and start this day 40 workout with me, go ahead and grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. But if you are doing sit-ups the way I'm doing them, or if you're doing knee push-ups, you're definitely going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you. So grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you are needing to hold on to something for support, please, again, just make sure that whatever you're using to support you is strong enough to hold your entire body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy, meaning that it's nothing that's going to collapse or break or fold up on you when you put weight on it, and make sure that it's stable so that it cannot slide from underneath you when you put weight on it. So for example, if you need to do a standing push-up variation where you have your hands on a chair or a bar stool, let's say, make sure you're not using some sort of flimsy folding chair or one of those like collapsible stools, okay? Your chair needs to be strong enough to support your entire body weight. Even if you're just using it to steady yourself for your squats and you're lightly resting your fingers on it so you don't lose your balance. In the event that you do lose your balance and you need to lean on the chair more heavily, you need to make sure that it's something that's going to support you entirely, okay? So make sure that your chair or bar stool or whatever you are using for your elevated surface to help you support yourself or steady yourself is strong enough to hold your entire body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy. So don't use a folding chair that's going to fold up when you put weight on it. Make sure that your chair or stool or whatever you're using is good quality. Make sure it's well made. Make sure it's in decent condition, okay? So that it won't collapse or break or fold up when you put weight on it. And make sure that it is stable. So if you are leaning on a chair for support, or if you're doing your push-ups with your hands elevated on a chair, for example, I recommend placing your chair or your stool or whatever you're using on top of your mat so that it will stay put. You don't want it to slide from underneath you. So if you're doing push-ups with your hands elevated, I recommend using something like a kitchen counter because that's definitely not going anywhere. That's a great option. But if you are going to be using a chair or a stool, just please be smart, be safe. Make sure that your chair or stool or whatever elevated surface you're using is strong, sturdy, and stable enough to be used safely. All right, so if you need to grab a chair or a stool or some other strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface, do that now. And then you can pause the video, go get dressed, meet me right back here. We're going to do a quick 5-minute warm up and then we'll get our reps done together. All right, so as soon as you are ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder, and then you're going to place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure you are not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just resting your hand on top of your head, making sure your arm is relaxed, both shoulders are relaxed, and you're just allowing gravity to do all of the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck. So switching sides, letting your head fall towards the opposite shoulder, and placing your hand on top of your head and just resting it there. Make sure both shoulders are relaxed. Don't let your shoulders creep up by your ears. Next, we're gonna do some head rolls. So you're going to start by just allowing your chin to fall towards your chest and then to the other shoulder and then back. And with each roll, you're just feeling your head get heavier and heavier, expanding your range of motion. Your arms are really, really loose like a rag doll, and you're just allowing your entire body to fall down in front of you. Next, we're doing shoulder rolls. So just rolling the shoulders to the back, big, big circles with those shoulders. Really exaggerate the movement. Make sure those circles are as big as you can. And then next we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So you're going to begin by extending your arms out to the side and making small circles. But then little by little, as the interval progresses, you're going to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you are exploring your full range of motion, making those circles as big as you possibly can. Now you're going to step your feet out a little wider than shoulder width apart. Bend the knees and kind of sweep your hands down in front of you. And then as you straighten your legs, you're reaching up as high as you can above you. And each time you bend your knees, you just want to start expanding your range of motion little by little, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep the feet wide apart. We're just going to lunge side to side, nice and easy. Adding the arms. So with each lunge, you're reaching your arm across your body. It's like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Then we're gonna step our feet together and march. So bring the feet together and start with just a nice easy march. Knees are low to begin with, but little by little, as the interval progresses, you wanna gradually start driving those knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. And now we're gonna jog, just a nice light jog. Again, knees are low to start, but gradually, as the interval progresses, you're gonna start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can. Now we're gonna go onto our booty kicks. So again, it's just a nice light jog. But with each step, you're bringing your foot up behind you, trying to kick yourself in the booty with your heel. So now for this next one, you may need to hold on to a chair or the wall for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. You're just gonna transfer your weight into one leg, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg. Swing the leg in front, swing it behind you nice and loose. We're gonna switch sides. So put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, and just start swinging the leg in front of you and behind you. You can start low, and then start expanding your range of motion, swinging the leg a little higher. We're gonna switch legs again. So you're gonna put this foot down, extend the other leg out in front of you, and just make a little semicircle. Bring that leg around and behind you. With each semicircle, you're going to start lifting the leg a little higher. And then finally, you're going to drive your knee up in front of you, kind of guide it around with your hand. Nice big hip circle. Same exercise on the other side. So extend the opposite leg out in front of you, keeping it low to start. Just drawing a semicircle, bringing the leg around and behind you, lifting that leg higher and higher each time. And then you're going to drive the knee up. Guide it around with your hand for that hip circle. Final interval, we're gonna do a hamstring stretch. You want to keep your back as flat as possible. So I'm using this wall to make it a little bit easier and a little bit more comfortable to get into this stretch. You don't have to use the wall. But if you use the wall or a chair, it just makes it a little bit easier to keep your back flat. It's fine if you round your back for this stretch, you're not gonna hurt yourself, but you'll find that if you keep your back flat while you get into this hamstring stretch, you're going to feel the way that isolates your hamstrings a lot more, makes the stretch much more intense, much more effective. Our 5 minutes is up, but you guys know if you've been following the challenge that I always like to spend a few extra seconds in this hamstring stretch because the backs of my legs tend to be really tight. And I want to make sure that I am as funky as a chicken and as loose as a goose before I start these reps. So that's our 5+ minute warm up. All right, so now our muscles are nice and warm. Let's go ahead and get these day 40 reps done. 40 air squats, 40 reverse lunges, alternating legs with each lunge, 40 sit-ups and 40 push-ups as quickly as you can without sacrificing your form. All right, my time to beat is 11 minutes and 27 seconds. That's my day 1 score. Make sure you know what your day 1 score was so that you can try to beat it. Just remember not to sacrifice your form for speed. And when you're ready, here we go. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. Reverse lunges. Sit-ups. go. 40 push-ups. Do your best. It's 20 for me. 20 more. That's 30. Just 10 more. It's 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. Get up. I know the only thing you want to do is collapse in a heap on your mat right now, but it's really important that you get up and move around a little bit. Let's just do a quick little cool down. The important thing is just that you're moving. So you really can just kind of pace around for a few minutes. You just want to keep the circulation going while you allow your heart rate to normalize. While you allow your breathing to slow down a little bit. So just keep moving, keep pacing, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Feeling my shoulders after doing all 40 push-ups in a row like that. So let's do a quick shoulder stretch. Keep moving, keep pacing. You can just shift your weight side to side like I do, but you're just bringing one arm across your body using the other arm to pull it in towards your chest. Make sure as you're doing this shoulder stretch that you're working on slowing down your breathing as well. So nice, long, controlled breaths in and out. Shake it out, other side. So bring the opposite arm across your body. Use your other arm to pull it in towards your chest and make sure that the arm that's straight is completely relaxed. okay? And especially make sure your shoulder is relaxed. If your shoulder is tensed up, then you're not getting the benefits of the stretch, okay? So make sure that the muscle you're stretching is nice and relaxed. Do a quick tricep stretch. Breathe. So just bending one arm. And place your hand on the elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that your straight arm is nice and relaxed. The hand should just be pointing straight down at the ground. Okay, so you don't want your hand hanging out up here by your shoulder somewhere. It should be pointing straight down while you're stretching that tricep, okay? So let's get the tricep on the other side. Bend the elbow. Just place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feeling that stretch in your tricep and making sure that your free hand is completely relaxed and pointing straight down at the ground. All right, so let's just do a quick quad stretch. So you may need to hold on to something for support. You may need your chair, or you may need to hold on to the wall. Even if your balance is normally really good, when you're fatigued, it gets more difficult to balance. So don't be surprised and don't get frustrated if you find you're losing your balance. Just hold on to something for support. But you're just going to bend one knee, bring the foot up behind you, and then you're going to reach back and grab onto the top of your foot with both hands, and then press your heel. Use your hands to press that heel into your booty cheek. And while you do that, you're going to tilt your pelvis forward so that you're kind of tucking your booty underneath you, trying to suck your belly button all the way back to your spine. Shake it out. I'll show you from the side so you can see what I'm talking about a little better. So switching legs, bend the opposite knee, bring the foot up behind you. Reach back and grab onto the top of your foot with both hands, and then use your hands to press that heel into your booty cheek. And while you're doing that, you're going to tilt your pelvis forward. Okay, so I'm kind of tucking my booty underneath me, and I'm trying to touch my spine with my belly button. So really try to suck your belly button back towards your spine. And as you're doing that, make sure you're continuing to press your heel into your booty cheek. If you combine both of those aspects, you're instantly going to feel that stretch intensify in your quad, okay? So if you are still breathing heavily and you don't feel that your heart rate has normalized yet, then you may need to pause for a few minutes. You can just continue pacing around. You can do a little more light stretching. And when you feel that you're completely cooled down, then come back and we'll go ahead and get our bonus burpee done together. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just one rep left to go. Remember that you do not have to include a push-up. I always include a push-up with my bonus burpee, but you can eliminate the push-up if you want. There are a million different burpee variations. Many of those burpee variations contain a push-up, and many of them do not. So you do not have to include a push-up with your burpee, but the bonus burpee itself is mandatory. Okay, you have to do some form of a bonus burpee. And if you are an absolute beginner, don't think that that excuses you from having to do your bonus burpee. Everyone must do a bonus burpee after every single one of these workouts. So if you are a beginner, let me walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. Again, I will be including a push-up, but you can eliminate the push-up if you would like, okay? You're going to start by standing in the middle of your mat. You are going to bend down and place your hands flat on the mat in front of you, and then you're going to step your feet back one at a time so that you are in a plank position. Now put your knees down for a push-up if you are including a push-up. If you don't want to do a push-up, you can eliminate that part. Step your feet in and stand. Come up onto your toes if you can, and if you want, you can add a little jump. If you are not a beginner and you would like to try to do the push-up from your toes, let's just go ahead and do one final bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete, and the challenge is now officially complete. Amazing. That ended up taking me a total of 7 minutes and 3 seconds. As I was watching the seconds tick away, I was really hoping that I was going to be able to finish in under 7 minutes. I didn't quite get there, but I got pretty close. I only missed it by a few seconds. And you guys, this is a huge improvement over my day 1 score. On day 1 of the challenge, these same 160 reps took me 11 minutes and 27 seconds. So that means I improved on my day 1 score by 4 minutes and 24 seconds. I was almost a full 4.5 minutes faster, which is just incredible. I'm very, very happy with my score today. I'm very, very happy with the progress that I have made throughout the course of this challenge. I still have a long way to go. I'm still not as fit as I want to be. I am nowhere near as strong as I want to be. I'm not as lean as I want to be, but I'm getting there. And one of the main purposes of this challenge is to establish that habit of daily exercise. And so the intent, even though this is the final day of the challenge, the intent is that we're going to continue because we have established this habit of doing our daily workouts. So you can see where 40 days of consistent effort got me. So if I can continue with that and continue putting in the effort every day and just do my reps and trust the process, I know that eventually I will continue to get stronger and I will continue to get more fit and more lean, and eventually I will meet those goals. So anyway, that's my official score today, 7 minutes and 3 seconds. My official score on day 1 was 11 minutes and 27 seconds. So that is an improvement of 4 minutes and 24 seconds. I am thrilled with that. So before I wrap things up, I just have one final order of business that needs to be addressed, and that is the bonus rounds that we have been doing after all of the workouts this week. If you've been following along with the workouts this week, you know that after every workout, we complete our 160 reps, but then we've been doing a bonus round of an extra 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of abs, and 10 push-ups. And I've been promising you that I'm going to get around to explaining why we're doing that, and I haven't had time, so I'm going to explain it now. So this is a tradition that goes back to year 1 of the challenge, which was 2020. So around this time of the year in 2020, that is when the COVID pandemic descended upon all of us, and everything was canceled. Every major sporting event and Coachella was canceled, right? Everything was canceled. Everything was closed. We were all sent home. We were told, don't go to work, don't do anything you don't need to do, stay at home. It was very confusing and very scary. I felt really isolated, and I felt very helpless. People were dying, and I felt like I wanted to do something, but there was really nothing to do. So you know that I am a regular blood donor. I try to donate at least twice a year, more if I can, but I make it my goal to do at least 2 blood donations every year. So initially I was going to wait until after the challenge was over to make my blood donation. And I pretty much always do a blood donation immediately after this challenge is over. But that was year 1 of the challenge. I had never done the challenge before. So my plan was to wait until after the challenge was over, because if I donate blood, I can't be doing push-ups for the next few days. So that was the initial plan, but I was feeling so helpless. And long story short, about the second to last week of the challenge, I just decided I'm gonna go today. I'm gonna make a blood donation. At least I'll feel like I'm doing something to help somebody. So I went and I made my blood donation. But you are not supposed to, you're supposed to avoid any kind of vigorous exercise for 24 hours, but I didn't want to miss my reps. And you're also not supposed to do any heavy lifting. And for me, after I make a blood donation, it always takes me a solid 3 or 4 days after the donation before I feel like I want to do any upper body work, before I feel like I want to be lifting anything heavy, and certainly before I feel like I want to be doing any push-ups. So I knew that I was going to have to miss a few days of push-ups. So the way I decided to handle it was this. I went and I made my blood donation on a Thursday maybe, and then the next day when it was time to do my reps, I decided to do a really super short, simple workout, so it wasn't anything too vigorous, and I just did squats, lunges, and abs, no push-ups. So that meant that I owed 40 push-ups. And then I think the next day was a Saturday, so I again skipped my push-ups. So it ended up being that I had a deficit of 80 push-ups because I made my blood donation on Thursday. So then Friday and Saturday I skipped my push-ups, okay? So that was the second to last week of the challenge. So then going into that final week of the challenge, I decided that the way I was going to make up those 80 push-ups was by doing an extra 10 push-ups after every workout, starting on Tuesday. Okay, so so that's what it was. So that final week of the challenge, I decided Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's 4 days. After each of those 4 days, I would do an extra 10 push-ups. So that would make up my first 40 reps. That would mean that on Saturday, day 40, I would still have a deficit of 40 push-ups. So my initial plan was to do those on Sunday, Easter Sunday, which was the day after the challenge was over. But then I decided that I really wanted to complete all of the reps on day 40, so that by the time day 40 had come and gone and the challenge was over, I didn't owe any push-ups. So what I ended up doing was an extra 40 push-ups after my day 40 workout, okay? So the final week of the challenge, year 1, 2020, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, I did an extra 10 push-ups. And then on Saturday, I did an extra 40 push-ups. And that was the way I made up my 80 push-up deficit from the week before, when I had to skip 2 days of push-ups because I was recovering from my blood donation. So then every year since then, even though I didn't have a push-up deficit going into the final week of the challenge, I just decided to stick with doing those extra 10 push-ups. And then eventually, instead of adding the extra 10 push-ups after every workout, it just became where I was adding an extra 10 reps of everything. And so that's how the bonus round came to be for that final week of the challenge. It just is kind of like a tradition at this point. And I figured since it's the final week of the challenge, I always want to finish strong. It's like when you get to the end of a long race and you just want to collapse and you feel like you have nothing left in the tank, but then you see that finish line and somehow you dig way down deep and you sprint through that finish line. That's how I like to finish the challenge. So even though there's no reason that I had to do those extra reps like there was in year 1, it's just a tradition that I have stuck with, and it has evolved into this entire final week of the challenge, doing an extra 10 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups as a little bonus round. So that instead of 40 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups every day, this week we've been doing 50 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, plus our bonus burpee. So what I'm going to do now is not a bonus round the way we've been doing this whole week, but what I'm going to do now is what I did in year 1 of the challenge. This is another tradition that has kind of stuck, is that on the final day of the challenge, day 40, I'm going to do an extra 40 reps of push-ups. So you are going to see me cry, all right? So if you want, you can join me for an extra 40 reps of push-ups. If you don't want to do this, I don't blame you. If you have completed this challenge with me and you have done your 161 reps every day for 40 days, that means that you have completed with me a total of 6,440 reps, and that's plenty. So if you don't want to do these extra push-ups, you absolutely do not have to. But if you would like to join me in solidarity, or if you just want to finish the challenge strong like I do, You can go ahead and do some extra push-ups with me. If you don't want to do 40, you can do 30 or 20 or 10, all right? But that's what I'm going to do right now. So, you know, suffer with me if you want, or you can just watch me suffer. I'm not going to rush through this. I'm just going to take it nice and easy. Probably just going to try to tackle them in sets of 10. So you do whatever works for you, or you just skip this part of the video, that's fine. But that's what I'm doing. This is how I do the challenge every year, day 40. I complete my 161 reps for the day, and then I do an extra set of 40 push-ups. So if you would like to join me, here we go. Any push-up variation you want to do, I'm just doing standard push-ups from my toes. So when you're ready, here we go. I'm joking about crying, but not really. In year 1 of the challenge, when I was doing this, I actually was crying, like sobbing, like tears and everything. It was an emotional time. There was a lot going on. A lot going on in the world, obviously, and a lot going on in my personal life. And this whole challenge was such a journey for me in that first year that, yeah, I actually had like a full-on breakdown at this point in 2020 doing my final 40 reps of push-ups of the whole challenge. All right, that's 1 set of 10. I'm gonna try to do another 10 without stopping. It's so weird how time flies so fast. Sometimes that seems like yesterday, but other times it seems like so long ago. It seems like, I don't know, it was just such a weird time. And especially for me, like I said, it's more than just what was going on in the world and what we were going through communally. Just going through a lot at that time in my personal life. So the challenge was especially emotional for me that year, I'll tell you what. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do another 20 without stopping. I don't know if I can. I might need to start doing sets of 5, that's fine. Picking up my count at 20. That's 30. I just have to do 10 more. So far, no tears. And then if you guys know me at all, you know there's another bonus burpee coming after this, right? For right now, let's finish these final 10 reps of push-ups. So picking up my count at 30. All right, that's 40. That's my 40 bonus push-ups in solidarity with my 2020 self, who was entering day 40 of the challenge with a 40 push-up deficit and wanted to get that squared away before Easter Sunday. So every year since then, I just have to stick with it. All right, so I know that we've already done our bonus burpee, but if you did the bonus set of 40 push-ups with me, I'm just gonna do one final bonus burpee because I always like my bonus burpee to be the last thing that I do. All right, so I did one with you after the workout because this is completely optional. I'm assuming that most people aren't going to be doing these extra reps, but since I did the extra reps, I'm going to do one more bonus burpee. So join me if you would like. One final bonus burpee when you're ready. Here we go. All right, with that, my 6th annual slap challenge is now officially complete. But before you call it a day, it's really important that you are taking a good 20 or 30 minutes to stretch. If you can do it right now, immediately after the workout, that is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get it done because your muscles are already nice and warm. If you don't have any time to stretch now, that's fine. You can stretch later on in the day. Just remember that if you put off your stretching until later in the day, your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you're going to have to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you jump into your stretching routine. The same way we warm up our muscles before the workout, it's really important to make sure that you're taking a few minutes to warm up your muscles before you start stretching because warm muscles are more pliable. So the stretching is going to be more effective and you're also going to reduce your risk of injury. You're going to lessen the likelihood that you might overstretch or pull something or strain a muscle. So any time of the day you want to get your stretching done is fine. Just make sure you're taking a few minutes to warm up before jumping into your stretching routine. If you're a beginner and you don't know how to stretch, you don't know what to do for a stretching routine, you really can just go on YouTube and do a search for beginner stretching routine. There's going to be tons of great options. Just kind of browse through them, see what looks good to you, and pick one. If you would like the link for the stretching routine that I do every day, I'm happy to share that with you. Just ask. It doesn't matter what you do for your stretching routine, just as long as you get your stretching done. It's really important that you're taking the time to stretch every day. It's going to help alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing. And it's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward. And you're going to improve your flexibility and your mobility, which is important in its own right. So please make sure you're taking the time to stretch every day. Before I do my stretching, I am going to add on 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. That is why I'm holding Victoria. Victoria is my beautiful silver jump rope with the pretty light pink metallic handles. And if you would like to know where I got Victoria, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link, use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. The additional cardio is not required, it is not mandatory, it is not officially part of the challenge, but it's the way I do the challenge every year since year one, 2020, because I'm always looking to use this challenge to get myself in shape. I need to lose weight, I want to improve my stamina, and I want to strengthen my heart and my lungs. The additional cardio just goes a long way towards helping me to accelerate that process. It enables me to start seeing results faster, and I always find that really encouraging, and feeling encouraged helps me stay motivated to keep going because I can see the changes happening in my body. I can see that I'm getting stronger, I can see my stamina improving, and it just makes it easier to find the motivation to get out here and keep getting the reps done every day because I can see that what I'm doing is working. And of course, the stronger I get, And the more my stamina improves, the easier the workouts become. So that helps with motivation as well, because I know that every day when I get out here to do my reps, it's going to be just a little bit easier than it was the day before. So I'm going to reset my timer for 40 rounds of 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. I'm going to get some music going, and that's 20 minutes. I'm just going to get my cardio done, and then I'll do my stretching before I hop in the shower, eat some lunch, and get on with the rest of my day. So you do not have to do any cardio at all if you don't want to. But I just want to share this with you because I want to be completely transparent with you about the fact that I am doing more than just these 160 reps every day. And this is how I do the challenge every year. I am relying solely on these 160 reps that we're doing every day, these 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups for my strength training. That's all I'm doing for strength training. But I am doing 20 minutes of additional cardio every day. So if you would like to add on some cardio, it doesn't have to be jump rope, it can be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. You can go for a jog or even just a brisk walk. You could go for a bike ride if you have a bike, or if you have like an exercise bike or a treadmill or an elliptical, something like that, you could hop on one of those for 20, 30 minutes more if you want to. If you have a heavy bag, as part of your home gym maybe, or if you have access to one at the gym, if you have a gym membership and you have access to things like that, like heavy bag or ellipticals, treadmills, stuff like that, that's another great option. Or if you have access to the field at your local high school, you could jog around the track, or you could do up and down the bleachers, or if you have steps in your home or your apartment complex, or at a nearby beach or hiking trail or park, up and down the steps is another great option. Or if you do live close to a beach, or if you have a pool or you have access to a pool, swimming is great cardio. You could just go for a swim. All right, it can be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. So get creative, use what's available to you. It doesn't have to be more than 20 or 30 minutes. And again, you don't have to do it. You guys, I do the additional cardio after every single workout if I can. Inevitably, I have to miss days here and there, but generally speaking, every year when I do this challenge, I do additional cardio, 20, 30 minutes or more of additional cardio after every single workout. And we're working out every Monday through Saturday. That's 6 days a week. That means every week, for the most part, I am doing 6 cardio sessions in a row. And I know that's a lot. And I understand that you may not have the physical ability to do 6 cardio sessions every week, or you just may not have the time. But all throughout the challenge, I have been encouraging you to try to find at least 2 or 3 days a week where you can sneak in a cardio session after the workouts. And I just know that if you do that, that you'll be a lot happier with your results at the end of the challenge. But I also want you to keep that in mind moving forward. Again, one of the main reasons that we're doing this challenge is to help establish that habit of daily exercise. So what I'm really hoping is that you will continue to work out with me after the challenge is over. So again, 2 or 3 days a week, whether it's after one of my workouts or after some other workout or in lieu of a workout. I think 2 or 3 days a week, if you can find time to sneak in a cardio session, it can be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. And it doesn't have to be more than 20 or 30 minutes. It's not mandatory, but it is strongly recommended. So I just always like to share that with you because that's how I do the challenge every year. And that's what I'm gonna go do now. 20 minutes of additional moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. So it is not required, not part of the challenge, but strongly recommended. But whether or not you are doing any additional cardio today, our 161 reps are complete. We did our 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 40 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. And if you did the bonus round of push-ups with me, that means that you did 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 80 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. And if you did the bonus burpee with me, that means you actually did a total of 202 reps today. Amazing. And you guys, that is officially a wrap on day 40, which means that that is officially a wrap on my 6th annual SLAP challenge. So if you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to everyone who joined me this year for the challenge. Even if you joined the challenge in the beginning and then kind of dropped out, I am still appreciative for those few days that you joined the challenge. Even if you joined the challenge on day 20 or day 30 or day 38, I am grateful for those 2 days or 2 weeks that you did the challenge with me. So this is the most people I've ever had join me for the challenge, and you guys all were amazing. I am so grateful for every last one of you. I hope you enjoyed the challenge. I hope you are happy with your results, and I hope that you will continue. I hope that you were able to use this challenge to establish a habit of daily exercise, and I hope that you will continue following along with my workouts or anyone else's workouts. I just hope that you will keep this going and build on the progress that you were able to make over the course of this 40-day challenge. If you didn't join me for the challenge, but now you're thinking that maybe you would like to do the challenge, that's wonderful. Just remember to save the playlist. Start by watching that day 1 video so that you understand what the challenge is, how it works, why we're doing it, who is Brutus, and why are we slapping him with squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. Once you understand how to participate in the challenge, then just remember that I am here to help. I'm here to answer questions. So ask questions if you have them. And then when you are ready to begin, if you want to start the challenge on day 1, just make sure that you start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday will do. Start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, and from there, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist. I have made it super easy to follow along, but if you have questions at any point, I'm right here, so please just ask. I also need to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, I need to say a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate all of you so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear about today's workout, if you have questions about the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need help with beginner modifications, first of all, you can watch the day 1 video, because in that day 1 video, I took lots of time to explain and demonstrate each of the exercises before we did the workout, and I provided tons of beginner modifications. But I am always here to help, so please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need any help. Thank you so much for joining me for this 6th annual slap challenge. You guys are amazing, and before I say goodbye, I need to let you know that I will be back tomorrow. Even though the challenge is officially over, I am going to be back tomorrow because it is another tradition that dates back to year 1 of the challenge, 2020, that on Easter Sunday, to celebrate the fact that we completed this challenge, we do 40 celebratory bonus burpees. All right, so you don't have to do it. It is completely optional. But if you would like to join me, then meet me right back here tomorrow. We are going to do 40 bonus burpees together to celebrate the end of another successful slap challenge. So I will see you all right back here tomorrow for our 40 celebratory bonus burpees. That is going to do it for today. Thank you again for sticking with me these last 40 days. You guys are amazing. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.